to another episode of Jenny Time with me, Jenny from Jenny Time. Sorry about the quality of this video. It's recorded on an iPad because my camera is almost dead. But this video is going to be different than my other videos because this video I'm just going to sit down and talk to you about something that's happened in my life. So it's not going to be a makeup thing, it's not going to be anything, it's just going to be me talking to you. Okay? And this is going to be a hard video for me to video, but I think it's time, after a year being on YouTube, to finally tell you why I say upload 3 times in 1 week and then the next week nothing, next week nothing, next month I upload again. So I think it's finally time to tell you why that's going on in my life. I have arthritis. And some of you may not know what arthritis is. Arthritis is inflammation of the joints. So joints are your fingers, hips, knees, jaw, a load of everything that moves basically in your body. And other people will say, arthritis, is that like not what old people have? And technically, yeah, all people have arthritis, but so do young people. And elderly arthritis and JIA, juvenile idiopathic arthritis, are completely different. Juvenile idiopathic arthritis, JIA, can give you chronic pain and a load of other side effects on top of it. But this is what I have, and today I'm here to tell you my story. Okay, so I have psoriatic arthritis, which comes from the gene psoriasis and blah 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 blah. You don't need to know every detail. But I thought I would make this video to show that there is other people out there with arthritis and you're not the only one suffering from it. And that we can all come together as a little group. In this video I'm going to go through everything. I have a little checklist here of how I'm going to do it. So my introduction, just basically done. And now I'm going to do how it began, when it started, how I started getting symptoms and everything like that about arthritis. So back in 2011, 12 maybe? It was about 3 years ago, so 2012. My whole body froze. So my hands went like this, my knees wouldn't move, none of my body would move. I was brought into hospital because of that. And then the next day I was perfectly fine, which is really strange. But the next day I was perfectly fine. And they were like, okie dokie. And they were like, I think it's a viral infection or a virus and we have no cure for it. I was like, okay. And a few months later again, the same thing happened. They took it a little bit more seriously, they kept me in for longer, and the same thing happened again. And they were like, yeah, it's definitely a virus that just hasn't left your system. And then over the next few months of 2012 into 2013, I was still getting these things where my hands would swell, my hip would swell. Well, not really my hip at that time, but my joints would swell just randomly. So I was in and out of hospital and they were like, it's a virus, it's a virus. And then they're like, maybe it's arthritis. So let's refer her to a rheumatologist who is someone who deals with arthritis. Long waiting lists because there's only 2 juvenile rheumatologists in Ireland. And I finally got a place in one of the clinics. She had me diagnosed within a few minutes of me being in there. After 2 years of us waiting for an answer, in May 2014, I was diagnosed with arthritis. So, the first thing is I finally know what's wrong with me. The next thing is, what does this mean? What does this mean about my life? What am I going to do now? What will I have to change? So the thing is, you don't have to change too much about your life. You just kind of have to change how slowly you do it. So basically what that means is pacing yourself. And pacing yourself is the main part of coping with arthritis in life. So this basically means that you can go wherever you want, you can do whatever you want, but just not like everyone else. So if you go shopping with your friends, you can't go from shop to shop to shop to shop to shop. You go from shop, you sit down. Shop, sit down for a few more minutes. Shop, go for lunch. Shop, sit down. And you have to have friends in your life that understand this, but not in the way where they have to understand it, like feel your pain. No, they just have to be there and understand that you have to sit down. They have to be there for you. And when you have someone like that in your life, it'll be easier on you. And so I was told that I had to pace myself. I was also told that I was going to have to go on a lot of medications. And the first thing you think is, okay, medication, not too bad. Tablets, I'll do that, liquids. And then you get told it's injections. And then your tummy just goes, oh, an injection? What? Oh, God. And so I was told that I was going to be put on methotrexate, which is an injection to help with arthritis. There's no cure for arthritis out there, but there is things that can help you through it. Like, so I was meant to be going on that in May 2014. I went, and then I was diagnosed with whooping cough, and I will leave a few links down below if you want to learn more about these different things that I've mentioned in this video, so you can just look down below. But so I couldn't go on my methotrexate then, because injection methotrexate, it lowers your immune system. And what that means is I can catch stuff much quicker than most people. So I can catch viruses, illnesses, coughs, colds, everything, a lot more than everyone else who has a high immune system, because I have a really low one. And this also means that I don't cure quickly and I don't get better quickly. So what this means is, if I have a cut on my hand, say, it could take you 2 days for it to cure. It could take me 2 weeks for that to cure. But this also meant that I couldn't get over the whooping cough if I started my methotrexate. So we left that for about a month, and in June of 2014 I finally started my methotrexate. And I hated that. I hate it so much. I still do to this day. I still take it, but it's a little differently now. But it's an injection that you take in your stomach. Not going to go into big detail, but it has a lot of side effects. And the side effects made me very ill, and I was sick. I would throw up with it. It was really bad, because basically what the doctor said is, you take it and your body doesn't like it at all. So they're like, what the hell are you doing to me? And then they make you throw up. But anyway, I was on that for a few months. But in about September of 2014, I was getting really bad pains in my chest and my abdomen, my lower abdomen, which is your lower stomach. And I was in hospital for 10 days in September of 2014 because of really bad pains all across here. And I was fasting for nearly all of those days, which isn't good because I love food. But I was fasting for nearly all those days, and in the end they told me I had a thing called costochondritis, which is inflammation of the chest to do with my arthritis. And I was off my methotrexate for all of that time. And that wasn't good for my joints, so my joints were getting bad. Once I was out of hospital, I started them again. And then I started getting the lower abdomen pains, which I'm not going to go into detail about that, because you don't need to know. But then, as the months were progressing, I was getting worse with that. I was in and out of hospital with this pain down below, and I was told it was psychological. It was all in my head. I was making this up. I'm stressed out with school. Blah, 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 blah. which it wasn't. It didn't turn out to be that. And again, I'm not going to go into detail with that. But in December of 2014, I had an operation. And I had to come off my meds for that. So I was off my meds for a couple of weeks after that so that I could heal. Because my scars wouldn't heal very well if I was taking them. But I was on methotrexate the whole way up to that, okay? And it just wasn't helping me on its own. I was still getting really bad pains and everything like that. So we went into January, I was feeling so much better, I thought I was doing great. February, started going downhill again. And in March, I just wasn't good. We're gone into 2015 now. So in March 2015 this year, we started a new medication called Enbrel. We, as in me, started a new medication called Enbrel. And this medication is a little bit different than methotrexate, but you take methotrexate with it. So you take the two of them. So I took an Enbrel on a Friday, methotrexate on a Saturday, okay? And the Enbrel, so the doctor she was explaining it to me. It's like a spider web. So you have the outside of a spider web, right? And this is just the kind of inflammation. And that's what the methotrexate attacks. And it tries to get rid of. Then there's another little circle here, okay? And then that's what the Enbrel attacks. So the Enbrel attacks the outside and that middle layer, okay? And there's one more layer and I'll get into that later. But I'm on to Enbrel now. And this is a pen injection, which means that it's different than the methotrexate, as in you don't see the needle and it's just like a pen. You place it down, and I took this in my thigh. You place it on your thigh, there's a little button at the top that you press down and the liquid goes into your thigh and then it starts going all over your body like. But that stings really bad. It's so painful. But it's over in a couple of seconds, whereas the methotrexate you put into your stomach and you see the needle, you see the liquid, and I didn't like that at all. But anyway, in March 2015, I started Enbrel. And that worked for me so well for about 2 or 3 months. I had another operation in March though, where I had to come off my medication again. So I was off my medication for a couple of weeks after that, and my arthritis got bad again. As we started up on Enbrel again, and methotrexate a few weeks later, and they just really weren't working from then. So we've gone into, say, May 2015. We went back to my rheumatologist doctor, and we told her it's not really working. So she said, okay, let's stay on it for a couple more weeks, and then we'll kind of decide on what we're going to do and how we're going to tackle this. So we waited a couple of weeks, we stayed on Enbrel and methotrexate, and then in about June 2015, so that was only a couple of months ago, we were like, I'm not sure about this. And then she said, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start you on a new medication. But this is going to take a couple of weeks to start. And we're going to stay on Enbrel for another 2 or 3 months just to have it in your system. So I was on this Enbrel and methotrexate for a couple of months more. And then it got into August. And we went back to her. This was just before school started again this year. And she said, okay, we're going to finally change your medication. And we were like, okay, finally, yeah. So she's like, we're going to put you onto Humira, which is it's another type of biological drug like Enbrel, but it targets another little section in the little center of the spider web. She's like, we can put you on that, or we can put you on an infusion, which we were like, no, don't want an infusion because I don't want to go to hospital every week. or every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks, or whatever it is, for a day. And so she's like, okay, we're going to put you on Humira. And we were like, okay, that's great. I haven't started that yet though, which I'll get into that. But Emerald, methotrexate, and Humira are all anti-immune something or other. Immunosuppressants, which mean they lower your immune system. So I have a very bad immune system, and I catch everything, and I'm always in the hospital and always really sick. And this isn't good at all that they do that. So there's a lot of side effects from them, and some of them are very scary side effects. But you kind of have to think of the positives, like they are going to help me, but some of them are quite scary side effects. But anyway, so she was like, we're going to have you onto Humira, and that's all we're going to change for now. We're going to take you off Emerald and leave you on the methotrexate. And then she goes, but you can also come off the methotrexate injection and go onto tablets. So I was like, yes! So I'm on the methotrexate tablets at the moment, and I haven't started the Humira yet. So we go into September now, just last month, right? And I have been having blood tests and loads of different things, and like, you have to wait a couple of weeks. And then we were told, okay, you can start it next week. The nurse is going to come, she'll teach you how to do it. And then I got sick again. And I've been very sore and stuff lately with a few pains that I'm not going to go into, and it's all to do with my face and nerve pains and swelling and all different things to do at the moment, right? And I'm literally out of hospital 2 days. I was in for a week last week, and now I can't start my Humira for a couple of months now, and I'm off my methotrexate for a while. So I could be getting really bad again, but I'm on steroids. But I could be getting worse. Like, I'm going to get worse for the next few weeks, and I'm going to get swelling and everything like that. But I'm okay with that, because I have family and friends and you guys there to support me, because I know that you are always there for me. And that's the only thing that gets me through it. The sad thing about Enbrel is it has some very sad side effects. And one of them is depression, which I don't have, but I have got to some very hard times last year where I was so down and everything like that. But then my friends and family are always there to cheer me up. And when I read your comments, it just makes me feel happy to see that there's so many people out there that love me for me. And that's what gets me through it. You have to stay positive in life, because if you don't, I don't know. But it's hard to stay positive sometimes. But knowing that there's people there for you and people that are always there to help you, it's such a relief. And some days are a lot more difficult than others, and other days are easier than others, but I get through them, and so will you if you are diagnosed with this. And we can get through it together, and that's just part of life. Like, you've ups and you've downs, but you will always get through them. And I'm starting to learn that after months. I'm starting to become positive, more positive. I can't stay positive forever. I will break down. I will cry. I will become upset, and I will be like, why me? Like, why do I have to get it? And then I think, but I'm not the only one that's going through this. There's so many more people out there that are going through this like me. They're going through chronic pains. And I think I will get through this. And there's a lot to come in my life ahead of me. There's so many stuff with medications and everything like that. But I can get through this, and so can you. So anyone who's watching this, just know that I'm there for you. No matter what it is, if you are going through arthritis, like me, well, I share your sympathy, I share your pain. But if you're going through other stuff, just know that there is people there for you. And they're there to help you. They're not there to say, come on. They might say, come on, just stay positive. And you're like, I can't stay positive. But they're just there to help you. They don't know what you're going through, but how could they? And that's where I am in life at the moment, right? That's as far as I've gotten up in my arthritis story. I am not healed. No way. I'm not cured. I am nowhere near feeling good every day. But to some people, I just feel like they don't understand, which they can't because they don't have it. They don't understand why on earth I miss so much school when I look fine. Like, look at my fingers. But some days I can look at my fingers and they're so massive, and some days I can't fit into my school skirt. It's that my hip is that swollen. But once you have people to support you, and once people understand it, it gets easier. So my school are amazing at understanding. They will give me work at home. Like, they are just trying so hard to make things easier in life. And once people are like that to you, life gets better. And all I'm thinking is life will get better and I will get better. Eventually. I could be on this for years and years and years, and then I might go into intermission, and then I might come back again. But knowing that there's people there for you, staying positive, and having friends and family close by, just don't push people away. Everyone loves you for who you are, and people that don't love you for who you are, well, they can get a life and just leave. Hit the road. And that's it for today. That's all I wanted to say to you. I wanted to share my arthritis story. I'm sorry if this is boring you. Some people may not have even made it to here. But I just needed to share this, and I'm so happy I did. So, leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're new here. And I will see you next time and anytime. Bye bye.